My name is Aisha Patel, and I never thought I'd be the kind of person to plot revenge. Growing up in a tight-knit Indian-American family in Chicago, I was taught to forgive, to turn the other cheek, to keep the peace. But some wounds cut too deep, and some insults burn too hot to let go. This is the story of how my father let his sister humiliate my mother in front of everyone we loved, and how I made sure that betrayal didn't go unanswered. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. It all started 2 years ago at my cousin Neha's wedding. The banquet hall was a kaleidoscope of gold and crimson, with jasmine garlands draped over every chair and the air thick with the scent of saffron and rosewater. My mom, Mira, had spent months helping plan the event. She wasn't just the mother of the bride's cousin, she was the heart of our family, the one who remembered everyone's birthdays, who cooked extra portions of biryani for neighbors, who stayed up late sewing sequins onto saris for relatives who couldn't afford new ones. Mom's smile could light up a room, but that night, it was dimmer than usual. I noticed it right away, the way her hands fidgeted with the edge of her dupatta, the way her eyes darted toward my dad, Rohan, and his sister, my Aunt Priya. Priya was the opposite of my mom. Where Mom was warm and selfless, Priya was sharp-tongued and self-obsessed. She'd always had a way of making people feel small, especially Mom. I was used to her snide comments, little jabs about Mom's simple upbringing in a small Gujarat village or her outdated taste in clothes. But that night, Priya wasn't just throwing darts, she was aiming to destroy. The reception was in full swing. The DJ was blasting Bhangra beats, and the dance floor was a sea of swirling lehengas and sherwanis. I was laughing with Neha, my best friend since we were kids, when I saw Mom slip away from the head table. She was heading toward the kitchen, probably to check on the caterers. She could never sit still at events like this. I didn't think much of it until I heard Priya's voice cut through the music like a knife. "Oh, Mira's in the kitchen again? What a surprise. Always playing the servant, isn't she?" The words landed like a slap. A few people nearby chuckled nervously, but the room didn't stop. The music kept pounding. The dancers kept moving. I froze, my eyes locking onto Priya, who was standing near the bar with a glass of wine in her hand, smirking like she'd just won something. My dad was right next to her, his face unreadable. He didn't say a word, not one. I felt my cheeks burn. I wanted to march over and tell Priya to shut her mouth, but Neha grabbed my arm. "Aisha, don't. It's my wedding. Please." Her eyes were pleading, and I swallowed my anger for her sake. But when I looked at Dad, still silent, still standing there like a coward, something inside me cracked. Why wasn't he defending Mom? Why was he letting his sister talk about her like that? I found Mom a few minutes later, alone in the kitchen, arranging trays of gulab jamun with shaking hands. Her sari was impeccable, emerald green with gold embroidery, but her face was a mask of pain. "Mom," I said softly, "are you okay?" She forced a smile. "Of course, Beta. Just making sure everything's perfect." But her voice was brittle, and when I hugged her, she held on a little too long. I knew then that she'd heard Priya. She'd heard, and it had broken her. The rest of the night was a blur. I danced, I smiled, I played the part of the happy cousin. But every time I saw Priya laughing or Dad avoiding my gaze, my blood boiled. By the time we got home, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I confronted Dad in the living room, my voice shaking with fury. "How could you just stand there?" She humiliated. "Mom, and you did nothing." Dad sighed, rubbing his temples. "Aisha, Priya's my sister. She didn't mean it like that. Your mom's too sensitive." "Too sensitive?" I snapped. "She's your wife. You're supposed to protect her." "Enough!" he barked, his voice louder than I'd ever heard. "This is between me and your mother. Stay out of it." I stared at him, my heart pounding. That was the moment I realized something awful. Dad wasn't just spineless. He was complicit. He'd chosen his sister over Mom, over us. And Mom, sweet, selfless Mom, would never stand up for herself. Someone had to. The next few months were torture. Priya's comment wasn't a one-off. She kept finding ways to needle Mom, at family dinners, during Diwali celebrations, even on Mom's birthday. Each time, Dad stayed silent, and Mom's light dimmed a little more. I started noticing things I hadn't before, the way Mom stopped, singing while she cooked, the way she flinched when Priya's name came up. I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to act. My plan started small. Priya owned a boutique in downtown Chicago, a high-end place where she sold overpriced saris and jewelry to wealthy Desi women. She was obsessed with her reputation, always, bragging about her exclusive clientele. I figured that was the perfect place to hit her where it hurt. I wasn't going to break windows or anything crazy, just shake her world a little. I created a fake Instagram account under the name Chicago Fashion Truth. I spent weeks gathering dirt, blurry photos of stained saris on her racks, screenshots of customer complaints she'd deleted from her Yelp page, even a voice memo from a former employee who'd quit because Priya screamed at her in front of customers. I posted it all anonymously, tagging local influencers and fashion bloggers. I didn't lie or make anything up. I just let Priya's own actions speak for themselves. The post went viral in the Desi community. By the end of the week, Priya's boutique was trending for all the wrong reasons. I overheard her on the phone, with Dad, sobbing about canceled orders and angry clients. For the first time, I felt a thrill of satisfaction. She was finally getting a taste of her own medicine. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. But revenge is a slippery slope. I thought I'd feel better, that exposing Priya would fix things. It didn't. Mom was still quiet, still shrinking into herself. And Dad? He was angrier than ever, ranting about family loyalty and how Priya was going through a hard time. He didn't suspect me, thank God, but his words stung. He was more worried about his sister's drama than Mom's pain. Then came the twist I never saw coming. One night, I was scrolling through my fake Instagram account, checking the latest comments on my posts, when I got a direct message. It was from someone named TruthSeeker32. The message was short, but it stopped my heart. I know what you're doing, Aisha. Meet me at the coffee shop on State Street tomorrow, or I tell everyone. My hands shook as I stared at the screen. Someone new. Someone had figured out I was behind the account. But who? Priya? One of her friends? Or worse, someone closer? Someone I trusted? I didn't sleep that night, my mind racing with possibilities. If this got out, it wouldn't just ruin my plan. It could tear my family apart. The next morning, I stood outside the coffee shop, my stomach in knots. I had no idea who I was meeting, or what they wanted. All I knew was that my revenge had just taken a dangerous turn, and there was no going back. The coffee shop on State Street smelled of burnt espresso and regret. I stood outside, clutching my phone, my thumb hovering over the message from TruthSeeker32. I know what you're doing, Aisha. Meet me, or I tell everyone. The words looped in my head, each one tightening the knot in my stomach. I'd spent all night trying to guess who it could be. Priya, my vicious aunt, sniffing out my Instagram plot? One of her loyal minions at the boutique? Or, worst of all, someone in my own family, someone who'd seen through my mask? I had no answers, only dread. But standing here, freezing in my hoodie, I knew one thing. I wasn't backing down. My mom's honor was worth the risk. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you." I pushed open the door, the bell jingling like a warning. The shop was crowded, all clinking mugs and murmured conversations. My eyes scanned the room, searching for a clue. A familiar face, a suspicious glance. Nothing. Then, at a corner table, near the window, I saw her. Neha. My cousin, my best friend, the bride whose wedding had sparked this whole mess. She was sipping a latte, her dark hair pulled back, her expression unreadable. My heart sank. No way, not Neha. I slid into the chair across from her, my voice barely a whisper. "You're Truth Seeker 312?" She didn't look up right away. She stirred her coffee, the spoon clinking against the mug, each sound stretching the silence. Finally, she met my eyes. "Yeah, Aisha. It's me." I felt like I'd been punched. Neha, of all people? The one who'd begged me not to make a scene at her wedding when Priya humiliated my mom? The one I'd confided in about how much it hurt. "Why?" I managed, my throat tight. "Why would you threaten me?" She leaned forward, her voice low but sharp. "Because you're playing with fire. That Instagram account? Tanking Priya's boutique? I know it's you. And if I figured it out, it's only a matter of time before someone else does. Like Priya. Or your dad." I clenched my fists under the table. "So what? Priya deserves it. You heard what she said about Mom at your wedding. And Dad just stood there, Neha. He let her tear Mom apart, Neha's eyes softened, but only for a second. "I get it. Priya's awful. And your dad? Yeah, he screwed up. But this? Aisha, you're not just hurting Priya. You're hurting everyone. My mom's freaking out because Priya's a mess. The family's fighting nonstop. And if this blows up, it's not just you who'll pay. Your mom will too." Her words hit harder than I expected. I hadn't thought about the collateral damage, how my revenge might ripple out, how it might wound Mom even more, but I wasn't ready to back off. "So what do you want? To snitch on me? Ruin everything?" Neha shook her head. "I want you to stop. Delete the account. Let it go. I'm not telling anyone, Aisha, but you have to promise me you'll end this. Now." I stared at her, my mind racing. Stop? After everything Priya had done? After the way Mom's smile had faded, the way her hands trembled every time Priya's name came up? No, I couldn't. But Neha's eyes were locked on mine, and I knew she wasn't bluffing. She'd figured out my secret in days. If I didn't play along, she might dig deeper, or worse, tell someone who'd make sure I paid. "Fine," I lied, forcing my voice to stay steady. "I'll delete it. It's done." She didn't look convinced, but she nodded. "Good. I'm trusting you, Aisha. Don't make me regret it." I left the coffee shop with my heart pounding, my plan in tatters. Neha's threat was a wake-up call. I wasn't as invisible as I thought, but instead of scaring me off, it lit a fire. If I was going to keep going, and I was, I had to be smarter. No more sloppy posts, no more traceable moves. Priya wasn't getting off that easy. Over the next week, I laid low. I didn't post from the Chicago Fashion Truth account, but I didn't delete it either. Instead, I watched. Priya was scrambling to save her boutique, hosting flash sales and begging influencers for endorsements. It was pathetic and it fueled me. I started planning my next move, something bigger, something that would hit Priya where it hurt most, her pride. I decided to target her annual Diwali Gala. It was the event of the year for Chicago's Desi Elite, a glitzy fundraiser Priya hosted, to cement her status as the community's queen bee. She'd spend months curating the guest list, securing sponsors, and boasting about how much money she'd raised for charity. It was her stage, her spotlight. I was going to steal it. My new plan was riskier. I couldn't just post online. This had to be public, undeniable. Something that would humiliate Priya the way she'd humiliated Mom. I spent hours digging into her gala's logistics, hacking into her caterer's email. Okay, hacking is generous, I guess the password, Diwali 2023, and finding the guest list. I noticed something odd. The charity Priya claimed to support, a children's education fund, had no record of her donations, not a dime. I cross-checked her boutique's financials, public records she couldn't hide, and found thousands of dollars in charity expenses that didn't add up. Priya wasn't just a bully. She was a fraud. I could have gone public right then, but I wanted her to feel the sting in front of everyone she cared about. I started crafting a presentation, a slideshow of receipts, screenshots of her shady financials, emails from the charity confirming no donations, even a video of her bragging about her philanthropy at last year's gala. I'd project it on the gala's big screen, right in the middle of her speech. It was perfect. It was poetic. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. But plans like that don't stay secret forever. A few days before the gala, I was at home double-checking my slideshow when my phone buzzed. Another message from Truth Seeker 312. My stomach dropped. Neha. I told you to stop. You didn't listen. Check your email. I opened my inbox, my hands shaking. There was a new message. No subject from an anonymous address. It contained a single attachment, a photo of me at my laptop, taken through my bedroom window. The screen was clearly visible, showing the Chicago Fashion Truth account. My face burned with panic. Someone had been watching me. Not just watching, stalking. Slammed my laptop shut and yanked the curtains closed, my heart racing. Neha had warned me. But this? This was next level. Was she behind the photo, escalating her threat? Or was someone else onto me, someone with their own agenda? Priya? Dad? I couldn't trust anyone, not even Neha anymore. All I knew was that the gala was 3 days away and my plan was in motion. If I backed out now, Mom's pain would go unanswered. If I went through with it, I might lose everything. I sat there in the dark, the photo's timestamp glowing in my mind. 11:43 p.m. last night. Whoever took it knew where I lived. They knew what I was doing. And they were close. Too close. The question wasn't just whether I could pull off my revenge. It was whether I'd survive it. The photo of me at my laptop haunted me. Taken through my bedroom window, it showed my face lit by the glow of the Chicago Fashion Truth account. Undeniable proof that I was the one tearing Priya's world apart. Whoever sent it wasn't just watching. They were close enough to know where I slept. My room, once my sanctuary, felt like a trap. I hadn't slept in 2 days, and the Diwali gala was tomorrow night. My plan to expose Priya's fake charity was locked and loaded, but now I was the one under a microscope. I was scared, yes, but I was also furious. Someone thought they could scare me into silence? They didn't know me. They didn't know how deep my need for justice ran. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. I spent the morning triple-checking my plan. The slideshow was ready. Screenshots of Priya's shady financials, emails from the children's charity confirming she'd never donated, a clip of her smug gala speech from last year. I'd hacked into the venue's AV system. Well, hacked is generous. I'd sweet-talked a tech guy into giving me the login for $50. The presentation would play right as Priya took the stage, exposing her to Chicago's Daisy elite. It was the kind of public humiliation she'd inflicted on my mom at Neha's wedding, and I couldn't wait to see her face. But the photo gnawed at me. I'd ruled out Neha as the stalker. She'd confronted me directly at the coffee shop, and this felt too sneaky for her. Priya was the obvious suspect, But she was too busy saving her boutique to play spy. My dad? No. He was clueless about tech, and he'd never stooped to creeping outside my window. That left someone else, someone I hadn't considered. I needed answers, and I needed them fast. I decided to confront Neha again. If she wasn't behind the photo, maybe she knew who was. I texted her to meet me at our old hangout, a tiny chat shop in Devon Avenue's Little India. The place was loud, packed, with aunties gossiping over pani puri, the perfect spot to talk without being overheard. When Neha walked in, she looked exhausted, her eyes puffy like she'd been crying. "What's wrong?" I asked, pushing a plate of samosas toward her. She ignored the food. "You didn't delete the account, did you?" I froze. "I told you. I would." "Don't lie to me, Aisha." Her voice was sharp, but it cracked at the edges. "I saw a new post last night. More complaints about Priya's boutique. You promised you'd stop." My heart sank. I hadn't posted anything since the coffee shop. Someone else had access to Chicago fashion truth. "Neha, that wasn't me, I swear." She scoffed, crossing her arms. "Right. So someone else magically took over your secret account." "Come on." "I'm serious." I leaned closer, lowering my voice. "Someone's messing with me. I got a photo. Someone took a picture of me through my window, working on the account. They know everything." Neha's face changed, her anger giving way to something else. Fear? "A photo? Like someone was outside your house?" "Yeah. And I don't think it's Priya. It's someone else. You have to believe me." She hesitated, then sighed. "Okay, let's say I believe you. Who else knows about this?" "Did you tell anyone?" "No one. Just you." I paused, studying her. "Unless you told someone." Her eyes widened. "Me? Aisha, I'm trying to protect you. Why would I rat you out?" "I don't know, but someone's on to me and you're the only one who knew." My voice was louder than I meant, and a few people glanced our way. I took a breath, forcing myself to calm down. "Neha, if you know anything at all, you have to tell me." She looked away, biting her lip. After a long silence, she spoke. "I didn't tell anyone, but Priya's been asking questions. She called me a few days ago, freaking out about the Instagram posts. She thinks it's someone close to the family. She even mentioned you." My blood ran cold. "Me? Why?" "She said you've been acting weird since the wedding, and she knows you're protective of your mom. She's not sure it's you, but she's suspicious." I clenched my jaw. Priya was smarter than I'd given her credit for, but suspicion wasn't proof, and she didn't have the tech skills to pull off a stalker photo. "What else did she say? What else did she say? What else?" Neha hesitated again, like she was weighing her words. "She's hired someone, a private investigator, to dig into the account." A private investigator. The pieces clicked into place. The photo, the anonymous email, it wasn't Priya creeping around my house. It was someone she'd paid to do it. My plan was in more danger than I'd thought, and the gala was less than 24 hours away. I left the chat shop with my mind spinning. I had to move faster, stay one step ahead. I spent the afternoon covering my tracks, changing the Chicago Fashion Truth password, wiping my laptop's search history, even taping cardboard over my bedroom window. But the fear lingered. If Priya's investigator was good, they might already have enough to expose me. I couldn't let that happen, not before I finished what I started. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel, it means a lot to us. Now back to the story. That night, I went to Mom's room to check on her. She was sitting on her bed, folding laundry, her movements slow and mechanical. The sight of her, so quiet, so diminished, steeled my resolve. "Mom," I said, sitting beside her, "are you okay?" "Really?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. I'm fine, Beta. Just tired. You're not fine. I know Priya's been awful to you. I know Dad hasn't stood up for you. I see it. Her hands stilled, and for a moment I thought she'd deny it. But then she sighed, her shoulders slumping. It's not your father's fault. Priya's his sister. Family's complicated. Complicated? I snapped. Mom, she humiliated you in front of everyone. And Dad just lets it happen. That's not family. That's betrayal. Aisha, please. Her voice was soft, but firm. Don't make this bigger than it is. I can handle it. But she couldn't. I saw it in the way her hands trembled, the way her eyes glistened. I wanted to tell her everything, about the account, the gala, my plan to make Priya pay. But I couldn't risk her stopping me. Instead, I hugged her, whispering, I love you, Mom. I'm going to make this right. The next evening, the Diwali gala was in full swing at the downtown Marriott. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers and fairy lights, the air heavy with the scent of incense and champagne. I wore a navy lehenga, my hair swept up, blending into the crowd of sequined saris and tailored suits. My heart pounded as I clutched a USB drive with the slideshow, my ticket to Priya's downfall. The AV booth was in the back, unguarded during the opening speeches. All I had to do was plug in the drive and hit play when Priya started her speech. But as I moved through the crowd, I felt eyes on me. Not the usual gala glances. Something sharper, more deliberate. I turned, scanning the room, and saw a man in a plain suit near the bar, watching me. He didn't look desi, didn't fit the guest list. His gaze was too focused, too professional. The investigator. Panic surged, but I forced myself to stay calm. I slipped behind a pillar, pretending to adjust my dupatta and watched him. He pulled out a phone, typing quickly. Was he reporting me? Had he seen the USB? I couldn't take the chance. I changed course, heading for the AV booth early. The tech guy I'd bribed was there, looking nervous. You sure about this? He muttered. Just do it, I hissed, handing him the drive. When she starts talking, play it. He nodded, and I melted back into the crowd, my pulse racing. Priya was at the podium now, radiant in a gold sari, welcoming everyone with her fake smile. The investigator was still by the bar, his eyes scanning the room. I stayed low, weaving between guests, praying the tech guy wouldn't flake. Then it happened. The lights dimmed, and the screen behind Priya flickered. My slideshow loaded, the first slide blazing in bold letters. Priya Sharma, charity fraud exposed. The room gasped as screenshots flashed. Her financials, the charity's emails, her own damning words. Priya froze, her face draining of color. Whispers erupted, then shouts. What is this? Someone yelled. Priya stammered, trying to speak, but the video of her bragging played, drowning her out. I should have felt triumph, but all I felt was dread. The investigator was moving, pushing through the crowd, his eyes locked on me. I turned to run, but someone grabbed my arm. Not the investigator, Dad. His face was thunderous, his grip like iron. Aisha, he growled, what have you done? Before I could answer, the screen flickered again. A new image appeared, one I hadn't put in the slideshow. The photo of me at my laptop, the Chicago Fashion Truth account glowing. The room fell silent, all eyes on me. My secret was out, and I had no idea who'd betrayed me. The ballroom was a frozen tableau, every eye pinned on me as the giant screen blazed with my betrayal. A photo of me at my laptop, the Chicago Fashion Truth account glaring like a confession. My heart stopped. I hadn't put that slide in the presentation. Someone had hijacked my plan, turning my moment of triumph into a public unmasking. My dad's grip on my arm tightened, his face a storm of fury and disbelief. Aisha, what have you done? He demanded again, his voice cutting through the stunned silence. Priya stood at the podium, her gold sari shimmering under the lights, her expression shifting from shock to something darker. Victory. The crowd murmured, phones flashing as people snapped pictures. I was exposed, and the weight of it crushed me. But I wasn't done fighting. Not yet. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. I yanked my arm free from Dad's grasp, my mind racing. The investigator I'd spotted earlier was pushing through the crowd, his plain suit a stark contrast to the glittering guests. He wasn't looking at me anymore. He was heading for the AV booth. Whoever added that photo had to be there, or at least had access to the system. I had to move now before they disappeared and left me to drown in this mess. "Dad, let me go," I hissed, dodging his attempt to grab me again. "I'll explain later." "Aisha, stop!" he shouted. But I was already weaving through the crowd, my lehenga swishing against my legs. The room was chaos. People yelling, Priya trying to regain control at the mic, her voice shrill as she demanded the screen be turned off. I didn't care about her right now. I needed to know who'd betrayed me. The AV booth was tucked behind. A velvet curtain at the back of the ballroom. I slipped inside, my breath ragged. The tech guy I'd bribed was gone, his chair empty, the laptop still open with my slideshow paused on that damning photo. I scanned the booth. No one. But then, I heard a shuffle behind me and I spun around to see a figure in the shadows, half hidden by a stack of equipment cases. It was Neha. "Neha?" My voice cracked. "You did this?" She stepped forward, her face pale, her hands trembling. "I had to, Aisha. You wouldn't stop. I told you to delete the account, to let it go, but you kept pushing. I couldn't let you destroy our family." I felt like the floor had dropped out from under me. Neha, my best friend, my cousin, the one I'd trusted most, she'd stabbed me in the back. "You put that photo in the slideshow? You're the one who's been stalking me?" "No," she snapped, her eyes wide. "I didn't take the photo. I found it in my email this morning from some anonymous account. It was already out there, Aisha. I just used it to stop you." I stared at her, my chest heaving. "You humiliated me in front of everyone. You made me look like the villain, when all I was doing was standing up for Mom." "For Mom?" Neha's voice rose, sharp with frustration. "This isn't about your mom anymore. It's about you and your obsession. You think you're some hero, but you're tearing us apart. Priya's a mess. Your dad's furious, and your mom, she's going to be devastated when she hears about this." Her words hit like a slap, but I shook my head. "Don't you dare bring Mom into this. You don't know what it's like watching her shrink every time Priya opens her mouth, watching Dad do nothing. I had to do something." "And now what?" Neha gestured toward the ballroom, where the chaos was still audible. "You exposed Priya, sure, but you exposed yourself too. Everyone knows it's you. What's your big plan now?" I didn't have an answer. My plan had been perfect, until it wasn't. Before I could respond, the curtain rustled, and the investigator stepped into the booth. Up close, he was tall, with a weathered face and eyes that missed nothing. "Aisha Patel?" he said, his voice calm but firm. "We need to talk." Neha backed away, her face crumpling. "I'm sorry, Aisha. I didn't want this." She slipped out before I could stop her, leaving me alone with the man who'd been hunting me. "Who are you?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. "Priya's hired muscle?" He didn't smile. "Name's Carter. I'm a private investigator, yes. Ms. Sharma hired me to find out who was behind the Instagram account. Looks like that's you." My stomach twisted. "So what now?" "You drag me to Priya so she can gloat." He shook his head. "Not quite. I'm not here to make your life harder, kid, but you've stirred up a bigger mess than you realize. That photo of you? It didn't come from me, and it didn't come from Ms. Sharma. Someone else is playing a game, and they're not on your side. I blinked, my mind reeling. What are you talking about? Who else would care about this? Carter leaned closer, his voice low. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Whoever sent that photo to your cousin has their own agenda. They wanted you exposed tonight, and they got what they wanted. You need to watch your back. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. I wanted to argue, to demand answers, but the weight of his words sank in. Neha hadn't taken the photo, and neither had Priya or her investigator. Someone else was out there, manipulating the board, and I was their pawn. Before I could press, the curtain flew open again, and Priya stormed in, her face a mask of rage. "You little snake," she spat, pointing a manicured finger at me. "You think you can ruin me? My reputation, my business, my gala? I'll make sure you pay for this, Aisha, you and your pathetic mother." "Don't you dare talk about my mom," I shouted, stepping toward her. Carter moved between us, holding up a hand. "Enough," he said. "Ms. Sharma, go back to your guests. I'll handle this." Priya glared at him, then at me, before turning. On her heel and storming out. I was shaking, my anger and fear colliding. Carter looked at me, almost pitying. "Go home, Aisha. This isn't over, but you're not safe here." I didn't want to listen, but I knew he was right. The gala was a battlefield now, and I'd lost the upper hand. I slipped out a side exit, avoiding the crowd, my mind a whirlwind. Neha's betrayal stung worse than anything, but Carter's warning was louder. Someone else was out there pulling strings, and I had no idea who or why. When I got home, the house was dark except for a light in the kitchen. Mom was there, sitting at the table, her hands wrapped around a mug of chai. She looked up as I walked in, her eyes searching my face. "Aisha, what happened at the gala? Your dad called. He's upset." I wanted to tell her everything, to spill the truth about the account, the slideshow, Neha's betrayal, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, I sat beside her, my voice barely a whisper. "I tried to fix things, Mom, for you, but I think I made it worse." She reached for my hand, her touch warm and steady. "Oh, Beta, you don't have to fix anything. I just want you to be okay." But I wasn't okay. Not with Neha's knife in my back, not with Priya's threats, not with some unknown enemy watching my every move. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the cardboard over my window, my heart pounding. I'd wanted revenge for Mom, but I'd unleashed something bigger, something I couldn't control. And then, just as I was drifting off, my phone buzzed with a new email. No subject, no sender name, just a single line. "You thought the gala was the end? It's only the beginning." Attached was another photo, this one taken tonight, outside the Marriott. It showed me slipping out the side exit. My face, clear in the flash. Someone had followed me. They were still watching. And they weren't done. The photo stared back at me from my phone screen, me slipping out the Marriott side exit after the Diwali gala, my navy lehenga catching the flash of a camera I hadn't seen. The email's message was a blade in. "My gut. You thought the gala was the end? It's only the beginning. Someone was hunting me, someone who knew every move I made, and they weren't Priya or her investigator." Neha's betrayal at the gala, exposing me with that slideshow photo, had been bad enough, but this was worse. This was someone else, someone in the shadows, and they were tightening the noose. I hadn't slept, hadn't eaten, hadn't even changed out of my clothes from last night. All I could think about was Mom's face when I'd told her I'd made things worse. I'd wanted to protect her, to make Priya pay for her cruelty, but now I was the one cornered. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed Because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. I sat at my desk, the cardboard still taped over my window, my room a fortress that felt more like a cage. I opened my laptop, checking the email again, searching for clues. No sender name, no traceable address, just a burner account designed to vanish. The photo's timestamp was 10:47 p.m., minutes after I'd fled the gala. Whoever took it had been close, maybe even in the crowd. I thought of the investigator, Carter, and his warning. Someone else is playing a game, and they're not on your side. He'd been right, and I was running out of time to figure out who. I couldn't stay still. I needed to act, to take back control. First, I had to deal with Neha. Her betrayal hurt worse than Priya's venom or Dad's silence. It was personal. A knife from the one person I'd trusted most. I texted her to meet me at the park near our old high school, a quiet spot where we used to skip class and eat ice cream. I didn't know if she'd show, but I had to try. When I got there, Neha was already waiting on a bench, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. She looked smaller than I remembered, her eyes red-rimmed. "Aisha," she started, but I cut her off. "Why, Neha? Why did you do it? You put that photo in the slideshow. You exposed me in front of everyone. I thought you were my family." Her lips trembled. "I am your family. That's why I did it." "You were out of control, Aisha. The Instagram account, the gala. You were going to ruin everything. I thought if I showed everyone it was you, you'd have to stop." "Stop?" I laughed, bitter and sharp. "You think I can stop now? Someone's stalking me, Neha. They're sending me photos, threatening me. And you made it worse by putting a target on my back." She paled. "I didn't know about the new photo. I swear, Aisha, I only used the one I got in that email. I thought I was protecting you." "Protecting me?" I stepped closer, my voice shaking. "You humiliated me. You made me the villain when all I was doing was standing up for Mom. Priya's been tearing her down for years, and Dad lets it happen. Someone had to fight for her." Neha stood, her own anger flaring. "And what about the rest of us? My mom's caught in the middle, my dad's stressed out, our whole family's falling apart because of your vendetta. You think you're the only one hurting? Priya's awful, but you're not a hero, Aisha. You're just as selfish as she is." Her words stung, but I pushed them down. "If you're so worried about family, why didn't you tell me about the email? Who sent you that first photo?" "I don't know." She threw up her hands. "It was anonymous, okay? I tried to trace it, but it was a dead end. I thought it was Priya's investigator at first, but he was at the gala, and he didn't act. Like he knew about it." I studied her, searching for a lie. But her fear seemed real. Neha wasn't the stalker, she was just a pawn, like me. "If you get another email, you tell me," I said. "No more secrets." She nodded, but the trust between us was gone. I left the park with a hollow ache in my chest, no closer to answers. Back home, I shifted focus to Priya. Her gala disaster was all over the Desi gossip circuit. Her boutiques, Yelp page was flooded with one-star reviews, and local influencers were dropping her like a bad habit. But she wasn't the type to go quietly. I hacked into her boutique's email again, new password, Gala 2024. She wasn't exactly a cybersecurity genius, and found a chain of messages between her and a lawyer. She was planning to sue for defamation, claiming the gala slideshow was fabricated. Worse, she'd named me in the emails, accusing me of orchestrating the smear campaign. If she followed through, I could be in real trouble. Legal trouble. I needed leverage, something to keep her at bay. I dug deeper into her financials, cross-referencing her boutique's records with the charities. That's when I found it. A hidden bank account, tucked away under a shell company with regular transfers from her charity funds. It wasn't just fraud, it was embezzlement, enough to land her in jail. My hands shook as I saved the evidence. This was my ace, my way to shut Priya down for good. But using it meant escalating the war, and with a stalker out there, I was already on thin ice. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. That night, Dad came home late, his face etched with exhaustion. He found me in the living room staring at my laptop. "Aisha," he said, his voice heavy, "we need to talk about the gala." I braced myself. "What about it?" He sat across from me, his eyes searching mine. "Did you do it? The slideshow, the Instagram account? Was that you?" I wanted to lie, to protect him from the truth, but I was tired of hiding. "Yeah, Dad, it was me. I did it for Mom. Priya's been humiliating her for years, and you never stopped her. Someone had to." His face crumpled, a mix of anger and guilt. "You think I don't care about your mother? She's my wife, Aisha. But Priya's my sister. I thought I could keep the peace. By letting Mom suffer?" My voice broke. "She's not okay, Dad. She's breaking, and you're too busy playing diplomat to see it." He looked away, his jaw tight. "I didn't know it was that bad. I should have done more." He paused, then met my eyes. "But what you did, Aisha, it's gone too far. Priya's talking about lawsuits, and there's something else. She says someone's been threatening her, sending her anonymous messages. She thinks it's you." My blood ran cold. "Threatening her? Dad, that's not me. I exposed her, sure, but I didn't send her anything." He frowned, studying me. Then who did?" I didn't have an answer, but the pieces were starting to fit. The stalker wasn't just after me. They were targeting Priya, too. Someone was playing us both, pitting us against each other. But why? What did they gain? Before I could say more, my phone buzzed. Another email, same anonymous sender. My hands trembled as I opened it. No text this time, just a video file. I hesitated, then clicked play. The footage was grainy, shot at night, but I recognized the setting instantly. Our driveway. The camera panned to Mom, getting out of her car, unaware she was being filmed. The video cut to text overlay. "Tell the truth, Aisha, or she pays." I dropped the phone, my heart pounding. This wasn't about Priya anymore. It was about Mom. The stalker knew my weakness, and they were coming for her. I looked at Dad, his face, blurred through my tears, and realized I was out of options. My revenge had started this war, but now it was bigger than me. And if I didn't find the truth soon, Mom would be the one to suffer. The video of Mom in our driveway played on a loop in my mind, her silhouette against the car, oblivious to the camera's cold eye, the text flashing like a death knell. "Tell the truth, Aisha, or she pays." My hands shook as I stared at my phone, the weight of my choices crushing me. I'd started this war to defend Mom, to make Priya pay for her cruelty, but now Mom was the target. The stalker wasn't just after me or Priya. They were closing in on the person I loved most, and I had no idea who they were or what truth they wanted. My revenge had spiraled into a nightmare, and I was running out of time to stop it. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed. Because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. Dad was still in the living room, his face heavy with worry after our fight. He'd admitted he'd failed Mom, but his news about Priya getting anonymous threats had thrown me. The stalker was playing both sides, and I was caught in the middle. I wanted to tell Dad about the video, to beg for his help, but I couldn't. He was already on edge about my role in the gala disaster, and if he knew someone was threatening Mom because of me, he'd lock me in my room and call the cops. I had to handle this alone, at least until I knew who I was fighting. I locked myself in my bedroom, the cardboard over the window making the air feel stale. I opened my laptop and replayed the video, searching for clues. The footage was shaky, likely from a phone, and the angle suggested the stalker was hiding in the bushes across the street. I zoomed in on the background, hoping for a reflection, a license plate, anything. Nothing. But then I noticed something odd, a faint timestamp in the corner, barely visible, 11:12 p.m., 3 nights ago. That was the same night I'd been digging into Priya's hidden bank account. Had the stalker been watching me then too? I pulled up the Chicago Fashion Truth account, still active despite Neha's betrayal. The latest posts, ones I hadn't made, were more vicious than before, accusing Priya of tax evasion and linking to forged documents. Whoever had hijacked the account was escalating, and they were good. Too good. I tried to log in, but the password had been changed. I was locked out of my own weapon. Desperate, I called Carter, the private investigator Priya had hired. He'd warned me about a third player at the gala, and if anyone could help me track this stalker, it was him. He answered on the second ring, his voice gruff. "Aisha, figured you'd call." "I need your help," I said, my words tumbling out. "Someone's threatening my mom. They sent a video of her, taken outside our house. They're saying I have to tell the truth, but I don't know what they want." Carter was silent for a moment. "Send me the video. I'll see what I can do. But I'm warning you, kid. This is deeper than you think. I've been digging into those anonymous threats your aunt got. They're coming from the same burner email as the ones you're getting." My heart skipped. The same email? So whoever's after me is after Priya too? Looks like it, and they're not amateurs. The emails are routed through a VPN, untraceable so far. Whoever this is, they've got resources and a grudge. I sent him the video, my stomach churning. What do they want? Why go after both? Of us? My guess? Carter said. You and Priya are collateral damage. Someone's using your feud to cover their own tracks. Maybe they've got a score to settle with her, or with your family. You got any enemies besides your aunt? I racked my brain. Priya had plenty of rivals. Her boutique's success had made her a target for jealous competitors. But my family? We were ordinary. Mom was a saint, Dad was a quiet accountant, and I was just a college kid with a laptop and too much anger. No one, I said. At least no one I know of. Keep thinking, Carter said, and stay sharp. Don't go anywhere alone until we figure this out. I hung up, my mind racing. An enemy I didn't know about? It didn't make sense. But Carter's words stuck. Collateral damage. This wasn't just about my revenge anymore. Someone was orchestrating this, and Mom was their endgame. I needed to warn her, but I couldn't tell her the truth. Not yet. I found her in the kitchen, chopping vegetables for dinner, her movements slow and deliberate. "Mom," I said, sitting at the counter, "can you stay home for a few days? Maybe take a break from work?" She frowned, setting down the knife. "Why, Beta? What's wrong?" "Nothing," I lied, forcing a smile. I want to spend more time with you. Maybe we can cook together like we used to." Her eyes softened, but there was a flicker of suspicion. "Aisha, you've been acting strange. First the gala, now this. Is something going on?" I hesitated, the truth burning my throat. "I'm just stressed. School, you know. I need you around." She reached across the counter, squeezing my hand. "I'm always here for you, but you'd tell me if you were in trouble, right?" I nodded, my chest tight. I hated lying to her, but the stalker's threat was too real. Until I knew who they were, I had to keep her close and safe. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. That afternoon, I decided to confront Priya. If the stalker was targeting us both, she might know something I didn't. I drove to her boutique, my nerves on edge. The shop was half empty, a far cry from its usual bustle, with clearance signs plastered on the windows. Priya was behind the counter, her face drawn, her gold bangles clinking as she sorted receipts. She looked up as I walked in, her eyes narrowing. "What do you want, Aisha? Come to gloat?" "I'm not here to fight," I said, keeping my voice steady. "Someone's threatening me, and you. Anonymous emails, photos, videos. Sound familiar?" Her expression shifted, a flash of fear breaking through her anger. "How do you know about that?" "Because I'm getting them too. Whoever's doing this, they're playing us against each other. I need to know what you know." Priya hesitated, then motioned me to the back office. She closed the door, her voice low. "It started a month ago. Emails accusing me of stealing from the charity. Then photos of me at home, at the shop. Last week they sent a letter, handwritten, saying I'd pay for my sins. I thought it was you." "It's not me," I said. "But they know. Everything. About the gala, the Instagram account, your bank account." Her face went pale. "My bank account? How do you—" "I found it," I admitted. "The shell company, the transfers. I was going to use it against you. But now, Priya, this is bigger than us. They're threatening my mom." She sank into a chair, her hands trembling. "I don't know who it is. I've made enemies, competitors, ex-employees, but no one who'd go this far. What do they want from you? They want me to tell the truth." "I don't know what that means." I paused, studying her. "Priya, what did you do, besides the charity fraud? What's bad enough to make someone come after you like this?" She flinched, her eyes darting away. "Nothing. I've made mistakes, but nothing worth this." I didn't believe her. She was hiding something, and it was the key to everything. Before I could push, my phone buzzed. Another email, same anonymous sender. My heart pounded as I opened it. This time it was a photo of Mom and Priya, taken today outside the boutique. They'd been here watching us. The message read, "You're running out of time. Confess? Or they both bleed." I showed Priya the photo, and she gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Aisha, we need to go to the police." "No," I said, my voice firm. "If we do, they'll hurt Mom. We have to find them first." But as we stood there, the office door creaked open. A figure stepped inside, their face obscured by a hoodie. In their hand was a knife, glinting under the fluorescent light. "No police," they said, their voice low and distorted. "Just you, Aisha. And the truth." I froze, my pulse roaring in my ears. The stalker was here, and there was no way out. The knife gleamed in the dim light of Priya's office, held, steady by the hooded figure who'd just stepped through the door. Their voice, low and distorted, sent a chill down my spine. "No police, just you, Aisha. And the truth." My heart hammered as I stood frozen, Priya beside me, her breath ragged. The stalker had been a shadow until now. Anonymous emails, photos, videos. But here they were, real and deadly. I'd started this to avenge Mom's humiliation, to make Priya pay for her cruelty, but it had spiraled into a trap that threatened everyone I loved. The photo of Mom and Priya outside the boutique, the message demanding I confess, had led to this moment. I didn't know what truth they wanted, but I knew one thing. I knew I wasn't letting them hurt anyone else. Priya grabbed my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "Aisha, do something," she whispered, her voice trembling. The figure tilted their head, the knife catching the light. "No whispering. Step away from her, Priya. This is between me and Aisha." I raised my hands, trying to keep my voice steady. "Okay, I'm here. You want the truth? Tell me what it is. I'm not confessing to something I don't understand." The figure laughed, a cold, mechanical sound through whatever was masking their voice. "You're so close, Aisha, but you're blind. You think this is about your little Instagram account? Your cute gala stunt? It's bigger than that. It's about what your family's been hiding. My stomach dropped. My family? We're not hiding anything. You've got the wrong people. Wrong. They stepped closer, the knife glinting. Your mother, Mira, the saint who can do no wrong? Ask her about her past. Ask her about the money she took, the lives she ruined before. You were born. I blinked, my mind reeling. Money? Mom? You're lying. She's never hurt anyone. Priya's grip on my arm tightened, and I glanced at her. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with something more than fear. Recognition. Priya, I said, my voice sharp. What do they mean? She shook her head. But her silence was deafening. The figure noticed, their hooded head turning toward her. Oh, Priya knows. Don't you? You've been keeping her secret all these years, playing the loyal sister-in-law while stabbing her in the back. I pulled away from Priya, my heart pounding. What secret? Tell me. The figure raised the knife, pointing it at Priya. Tell her, or I will. Priya's hands shook as she backed against the desk. Aisha, It's not what you think. Your mom. She made a mistake, a long time ago. Before she married your dad, she worked at a non-profit in Gujarat. There was money missing, a lot of it. She was young, desperate. She took it to help her family. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. Mom stole money? And you knew? Priya nodded, tears streaming down her face. I found out years ago when I was helping your dad with some old paperwork. I promised not to tell anyone, but I used it against her. Every time I made those comments, it was to remind her I knew. To keep her in her place. Rage surged through me, hotter than ever. You blackmailed her? That's why she never fought back? Why she let you humiliate her? I'm sorry, Priya sobbed. I was jealous. She had your dad, you, the perfect life. I wanted to feel powerful. The figure clapped slowly, the sound mocking. Beautiful confession, Priya, but it's not enough. Aisha, your mom's no victim. She's been lying to you, to everyone, and I'm here to make sure the truth comes out. Who are you? I shouted, stepping toward them. Why do you care? They pulled back their hood, and my breath caught. It was Anjali, a former employee of Priya's boutique, one I'd barely noticed when I was digging for dirt. Her face was twisted with bitterness, her eyes burning. You don't remember me, do you? I worked for Priya for years, slaving away while she treated me like garbage. And your mom? She's the reason my family lost everything. I shook my head, confused. What are you talking about? Anjali's grip on the knife tightened. That non-profit in Gujarat? My parents donated their life savings to it, believing it would help kids like me. When your mom stole the money, the program collapsed. My family went bankrupt. I grew up with nothing, Aisha, because of her. My mind spun. Mom? A thief? It didn't fit the woman I knew, the one who gave everything to others, but Anjali's. Pain was real, and it was aimed at me. If this is about Mom, why come after me? Why the photos, the videos? Because you're her daughter, Anjali spat. You're her legacy. I saw you start that Instagram account going after Priya. I thought, perfect. She's handing me the chance to ruin you both. I hacked your account, sent the photos, stirred the pot. And now, here we are. Priya lunged forward, desperate. Anjali, please, I'll pay you. Anything you want. Just let us go. Anjali laughed, raising the knife. Money won't fix this. I want justice. I stepped between them, my heart racing. Anjali, listen. I didn't know about my mom or your family, but hurting us won't change the past. Put the knife down. We can figure this out. Her eyes flickered, doubt creeping in. I kept talking, my voice steady despite the fear. You're right. Secrets destroy people. but so does revenge. I learned that the hard way. Don't make the same mistake. For a moment, I thought I'd reached her. Her hand lowered slightly, the knife trembling. But then Priya screamed, "She's stalling!" and lunged for the knife. Anjali reacted, slashing wildly, and I dove to push Priya out of the way. Pain seared my arm as the blade grazed me, hot blood dripping onto the floor. Chaos erupted. Priya screamed, Anjali cursed, and I scrambled to my feet, clutching my arm. Before Anjali could strike again, the door burst open, and Carter, the investigator, stormed in, his gun drawn. "Drop the knife now." Anjali froze, her eyes darting between us. For a second, I thought she'd fight, but then she dropped the knife, her shoulders slumping. Carter cuffed her, reading her rights as he led her out. I sank against the desk, my arm throbbing, my mind a whirlwind. Priya was sobbing, muttering apologies, but I ignored her. The truth about Mom was a weight I couldn't process yet. When the police arrived, I gave my statement, leaving out Mom's past for now. I needed to hear it from her first. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. At home, Mom was waiting, her face pale with worry. Dad was there too, his eyes red from arguing with the police. My arm was bandaged, the cut shallow but stinging. I sat across from Mom, my voice barely above a whisper. "Mom, I need the truth. Did you steal money from a nonprofit in Gujarat?" Her face crumpled, tears spilling. "Yes, Aisha. I was 20, desperate. My parents were sick. We were losing our home. I took the money and I've regretted it every day. I tried to make up for it, to be better, but I'm so sorry. I wanted to be angry, but all I felt was grief. Why didn't you tell me?" "I was ashamed," she whispered. "I wanted you to see me as someone good." "You are good," I said, my voice breaking. "But you should have trusted me." Dad reached for her hand, his own eyes wet. "We both messed up, Aisha. I should have stood up to Priya. I should have seen how much you were hurting." I nodded, too tired to argue. The police had Anjali in custody, and Priya was cooperating, admitting her own fraud to avoid worse charges. The Chicago Fashion Truth account was gone, deleted by Carter's team. But the scars, mine, Mom's, our families, would take longer to heal. That night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. I'd gotten my revenge, but at what cost? Priya was humbled, Mom's secret was out, and Anjali's pain had been laid bare. But I wasn't a hero. I was just a girl who'd wanted to fix a broken family and ended up breaking it more. Then, as I drifted off, my phone buzzed. A new email, no sender, just a single line. "You think it's over? Watch your back." My heart stopped. Anjali was in jail, but someone else was still out there waiting. The war I'd started wasn't over, and I wasn't sure I'd survive the next battle. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.